So I know a lot of you will have been waiting to see this. It's a question that has popped up time and time again. How did we get on this year with this particular machine? So we're going to start at the very front of it, work our way to the back, and then we're going to go into the cab and finish it off. So starting at the front here, I'll tell you how wet it's been, lads. That stuff is starting to grow there again. Starting at the front here, it goes on to our ordinary towing eye on the tractor, and that's a gift because you don't have to be putting on drawbars, and it's very, very easy to pick it up. It's before it used to be a bit of a pain hitching off the baler, but now no, you take absolutely no notice of it whatsoever. It's a very, very simple task. They've made it very easy and very straightforward. That is one feature I like, and I love the jack stand. A proper jack stand on it. Brilliant job altogether. Moving on from that, our drive shaft. I'd like to see a heavier shaft fitted on him. Now, they do tell me that I shouldn't be too worried about it, that maybe every couple of years you'd want to check your crosses or whatever, but I would like to see a heavier drive shaft fitted to the machine. I think it would be a better job. I've had no problems with it, but I just think it's a bit light for the amount of power you'll be putting through them and the amount of pressure that comes on these type of machines, you know. This was our only breakdown with the machine, and I suppose you can call it a breakdown, but we were able to stay moving. This little solenoid here, an O-ring failed in it, and it was just weeping out oil. Every time the door would open, a squirt of oil would come out of it. So I informed the dealer about that, and an hour and a half later there was somebody in the field to change it. So service absolutely cannot be faulted in any way, shape or form. Moving on to the pickup, obviously the one piece auger. Look, you've heard it a million times before, but it's a serious job. What I do notice is if you continually take in lumps and they jam up your crop roller, then what it will do is it just can't gnaw at the stuff. It can't get a grip on it, and literally if you switch off your PTO, come out and shove some of the grass in under the rotor, it'll take it in. And I'd say that happened maybe 3 times throughout the course of the season, so it wasn't a big deal. Where it would happen is if a big massive heavy crop is first cut in the end of July stuff, if that was tossed out with a hay bob and there was huge lumps in it, a huge lump would go through, it'd jam up the crop roller, and if you just didn't take your foot off for a second and let the crop roller come down again, if you took in another lump, it just wouldn't be able to grab it, so you'd have to shove it in and it'd get a grip in it, but you wouldn't even set off the clutch in it. Like, it's a very small little problem that you'd come across. So moving up here, one little issue I've come across here with netting, it only seems to be with net, it never happened to me with plastic, is if a spatter of mud comes off of the wheel, for some reason they tend to land up there. I don't know, because this baler is sitting a bit lower or what, but maybe if there was a little bit of a panel brought out there that you could flip up for when you're putting on the net, you can see, look, it happened there. Like it's there's mud in there and the net just got a grip on that. That has happened a couple of times. But this setup, without a doubt, is brilliant, because the failure rate in that is absolutely tiny. How many bales have come out without plastic on them? 3, 4 throughout the course of the season. It's a serious setup, and it's cheap. Farmers are supplying this plastic to me, so I don't have any huge bill now at the end of the year to go and pay it. Like, you know, I don't supply any plastic for the back unless some customers do want me to do that, but as a general rule I don't. But if I was putting film on, that'd be costing me extra money, and I'd be trying to collect that extra money but then pay it out. So to me that doesn't kind of really make sense. You know, you're collecting it to give it to someone else, so it makes it look like you've more money than you have really, I suppose. One thing I hate is big bills. If I can keep the bills smaller, then I reckon you'd make more money. It's a very simple change between the two. It only takes 2 seconds really. It's not a big ordeal at all. Our BK Max greaser is a great job. Just fill it up and you don't even have to look at it in for a long time. You can, if you look back every now and again from the cab, you can see that fella's turning, so he's greasing away. And of course our split drive, the way we can disengage the drive here is brilliant. If you're full and you take in a lump and you set off the clutch, all you do is disengage your drive and tie your bale that's in the chamber, because you don't really need to be taking in a bit of crop with that system. Feed it through, put out your bale and engage your rotor again, feed your lump through, and away you go. It's a brilliant job that way. Of course, one thing you will notice is the chains are at the other side of this machine compared to an ordinary, any other type of baler, but it doesn't have any negative effect on it. It's very good to stay clean as well. I may have cleaned this down 7-8 times, I suppose, at most, and like that has straw baled and everything, and hay even, without being cleaned down, so there's no big mountain of stuff built up in it. This handle here then is how you change your how many knives you have in. So you can just pull him, turn him, and you can choose 7, 4 and 14 on this machine. This is a 14 knife machine. You can get more knives on them if you wish, but that's the one we went for. And of course inside here you just have more plastic storage again. And funnily enough, I managed to go in every gateway and travel every field, and I didn't get the back of it stuck in the ground, or it wasn't so wide that I couldn't even go down the road with it. Everything I was told that was going to happen actually didn't happen. It's amazing really that I was told it wouldn't work at all, and it was so slow that I wouldn't even be able to make 2,000 bales in the season. But no, in fairness, it managed a few more than 2,000, and when I turn out the gate here, I'm actually able to go down the road with it. It's not too wide to travel on a public road, and I kind of don't really know where fellas to be going that the baler is going to get jammed in the ground. It's not something I've seen anyway, and I'm in County Kerry, so I do be going into some fairly sketchy places at times, but no, haven't got bait yet to turn in a gate, to travel a field, to do any of them things. In fact, it's 10mm narrower than my previous machine. Widest point to widest point, it's 10mm narrower than the previous one I had, so I can't see how that can be an argument that it's too wide or whatever. And the transfer is brilliant. It's not slow, or it doesn't fail. I tried it, like I tested it in places to see would there be any actual failure rate with it, and no, it always throws a bale out. It never throws a bale back out over this, which used to happen with the old wrappers, the satellite wrappers. If you threw a bale up in a hilly field, it could shoot out and roll away down, but no, that don't happen with this, because I'd say it's the angle that this goes at such an angle. What you would see happen if you're, I think it's if you're on a very steep side of a hill and you've a light bale, like, we'll say not a bale of silage, maybe a bale of hay or a bale of straw or something, it tends to wiggle out like that, opposed to just flip straight back. It still comes out, but you just see it in the camera, it kind of waltzes its way out. I think it gets thrown, and maybe it throws to one side and then it throws to the other side, and then it lands on here, and it might be sitting up in the corner or one of them or whatever, but it's very, very rare. Like, and it still comes out. I haven't had one fail to come out on me with it so far. It also has two big work lights there, and they're great. They give a serious shine back here. Especially for your camera, it really lights up your camera view at night. And if you're standing here changing plastic or anything, it's well lit back here, like, One thing, I suppose, it's going to cause a problem no matter what machine you have. But I just noticed it here one day, and I thought to myself maybe it could have ended up a bit catastrophic. But I was baling a pretty hilly field. I left off a bale off of the wrapper, you know, across the hill, carried on with my baling, and the bale started rolling. Then it hit this, and when it hits that, like, it stops, obviously. Even if you barely touch off of that, it stops it. But when it hit that, it stopped the whole wrapper. But I was just thinking to myself, maybe if this was a bit further on and it hit here, could it have damaged that? And I don't know the answer to that question. But I suppose if it was a different machine, it was going to burst the panel or something like that anyway. So it's yeah, that's neither here nor there really. But I just thought maybe that could, you know, it's a situation you could come across. I like this here too. You can do a lot of your functions on the back of it here. If you want to, you know, spin the table there, or what you'll be doing commonly enough is lifting your cutting ties if you want to clean them out. There's a bit of old plastic stuck in them, or if you want to tip off a bale or whatever while you're just standing there, you can do all them things. Open the door and all of that. So yeah, there's your chain drive. Think when the Kuhn man was down changing that solenoid, he said he gave the chains a bit of a squeeze in it as well, but that's all we've had to do to it. Maybe a little bit bigger of an oiler wouldn't be a bad idea, because when it has such a big auto greaser, you wouldn't really be paying much heed to it, you know. You wouldn't have to look at it every now and again, whereas you have to top that fella up every day really. So this machine has wound up doing, now we're not finished yet, we still have more baling to do, but if that'll be done is the question, you know. But the way our ground is getting wet, the year is shoving on, people mightn't even bother baling these places. They hadn't intended to, but we will have less done than last year. One of our customers gave up. He just decided to quit farming, and that's the only change. So we had the same amount of customers as last year. I don't think we had any extra. Oh, we did. Sorry, we had one extra customer, so that would have would have made up for half of the other guys baling, and we're down, I would say, a nice few bales. I think this is about shoving on for 9,000 bales, 8,750 or something like that is up in this machine. So there's only one change there, and that's the machine. So I'll let you think of that what you will, but yeah, this one makes very well shaped bales that are very dense, and that's all I'll say on that matter. Now this is the part that annoys me, and that sound just goes through me. It just drives me insane. So, you know, when we were standing outside explaining about the back of it, I shoved forward the thing, and now we've an error up on our screen for that. That's okay, but that buzzer is so annoying. So here we're into our, this is our, basically this isn't our working screen. This is, you can go into your settings and change settings and stuff inside here and all of that. So, like, you can turn on your lights here and all that. That's after turning the lights on the back of the machine. You can go into your, you can make a camera full size here if you want to, back onto your working screen, and that gives you bale counts. That resets your netter, I think, and that's for changing between film and net. So we're on film there now, and now we're on net. Oh, do you know what that does? It says zeros your how many meters of net you've used. As you can see, we haven't used a whole pile of net this year. 18 kilometers of it is all. So normally we'd use over 20 rolls in net, wouldn't we? Yeah, we'd use 25 rolls in net. So at 4,000 meters a roll. What's that? Anyway, that's shoving on for it's a lot of 1,000 kilometers, isn't it? Or 1,000, yeah. 1,000 kilometers, so we have 18 kilometers worth to use. So again, huge saving for me there. This is a feature that came with the last software update when they were down doing that other little job there. It's for baling straw or hay. What she'll do basically, she'll throw off. So you go out baling, you make your first bale, put it out in the wrapper. She'll keep that on the wrapper. When your next one is knitting, she'll put that bale off, and then she will also, the second your back door is closed, she'll throw that bale off as well. So the two of them are together, like it shows here in the picture. And the two of them are together, so it makes collecting far, far easier. Here's your layers of plastic. Of course, again, another serious system. Like, it's a very clever machine. You know, there's so much more features and take on it than a lot of other ones. I think it won like a gold star at Agritechnica a couple of years back. But so you can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 12 layers. So basically 4 layers in layman's terms is 16 reps or 16 revolutions. Now, nobody that does not have a Kuhn can put on 5 layers. Your next one would have been 24 reps, which would be 6 layers. So as we all know, when you're putting on plastic on your bale, it's like here in the photograph, it's half overlapping all the time. So if you have a half overlap, obviously you can put on uneven amounts of plastic. You just have 4, 6, 8. They'd be your common ones. But what the Kuhn does is it speeds up your wrapper, so your overlap is lesser. It's a 33% overlap, and in that so in that case, then the plastic, you're able to put on 3 layers. If that makes any sense to you, I'll go back again. So if you have a 33% overlap, if you go around the bale then 3 times, the bale is covered in 3 layers because you have a 33% overlap each time on your plastic. So that will give us 3 layers. What it then does is, for its last full rotation of the bale, it speeds up the wrapper once more, or it speeds it up or slows it down. It gives you 2 layers or a 50% overlap like you normally would, so you have an extra protection. So you have a big saving on plastic there instead of going on 6 layers. Or if you were traditionally using 4 layers, you can go to the 5 and you're not using that much plastic extra. So they're just presets for how much plastic you put on. As you can see, I have it on 4, 5, and then we had that one on 7. You can change all of those as you go along. And then our next one is the hay straw function, as I would call it. She's giving us a fault there now that the back door is open a small bit. You'll get this fault from time to time on them. They're really dependent on the grass you're baling. Now we're going into our manual screen. Really dependent on the grass you're baling. If you're baling kind of short, wet kind of stuff, it tends to stick on the door, and maybe every 250 odd bales you'll have to get out, give it a wipe down with your hand, and bale away again, because you'll get that door open error otherwise. Now this is a graw I have with it. I think if you think back to my last video, I was saying you have to go through all the motions. Now I was talking to the lads in Kuhn after, and they said you don't. So basically we'll just start it there now. So she's opening the door there now, and if I hit the automatic button and I press this, it'll just complete the transfer. Now see, this is bail out sensor, so it knows there's no bail in the chamber. It has to hit a little plate to let it know that there is a bail coming out. So that's why we got that error there. But we'll do that one there now. Back into auto. Press this. Away she goes. She's completing the transfer. She'll level the table. She's going to start. She won't start wrapping because we're on the we're on our hay function. There we have our door not closed fully, error there, so there must be a little bit of grass stuck to the door. That is one bit of an annoyance with it already. It's not bad because it's not that often, to be fair. Like, worst case scenario, you'll have to do it maybe 2 times a day. I I was dreading going at straw, and I think I baled nearly 900 bales of straw with it, and I didn't have to clean it off once, so it's not really a problem. And yeah, we're in a working screen here, so we've also have an auto drop floor function. Basically what that does is, if you set off your clutch, when you turn off your PTO, the drop floor automatically drops, it disengages the knives. You put your PTO going again, it'll shove through the blockage, she'll lift the floor, she'll lift the knives, and you can drive on again. You don't have to use these buttons. They could have just made the symbol simpler, like, I mean, how does anyone know what that means, manual, like, you know what I mean? It's very hard for someone who's green on it to get used to it, really. That is one thing that annoys me with it. And so if I go here now, I can change my bale density. So the last thing I was baling was here, way down on the density, so I can put my density up to 10 here. And you can see this is all touchscreen here now, like, you know, I'm working it off of the touch there. Now if I go to the next section, that's touch there as well, okay? And again, this is touch. Right, so we're back to our home screen again. So if I'm baling for you, and we make 23 bales, I want to change our bale count, I should be able to press that there to change that. Because I can press it here and change that one. So that's one change I would make on it. I should be able to change the amount of layers of wrap there as well. So I have to go out here and then go in there to change the amount of wrap we're putting on. That's my biggest annoyance with the baler, is this control box here. If they could change that, it'd be brilliant. Now, to be fair, I am used to it and I don't take any notice of it anymore. The beeper annoys me, it just goes through me, but that's it. That's my only criticism of it. Like I say, what we were told was going to happen, that we wouldn't be able to go in gateways, it wouldn't make a proper bale, it wouldn't do this, it wouldn't do that. All of that was absolute bullshit out of people who don't know what they're talking about. So that's basically it. I'm glad I made the move. I'm glad I tried it. For the first week, the control box was driving me around the bend. So why didn't I go to something else? But once I got the hang of the control box, I can shove this thing on, I can get serious output out of it compared to other machines. It's very user friendly in certain aspects of it. In this aspect of it, it isn't user friendly. But look, it's only a small thing really. It just takes learning, and I think if, like, I like these tractors for the simple fact is they have the technology, but they're not complicated. So, you know, I'm into my technology, but I'm not into complicated technology. If I had a big tractor screen here and I could go in and change flows of spool valves and all that, I'd soon get annoyed with that kind of stuff. Whereas here, I flick this up, I press that, and I have a timer set, I press that, and I can change my flow. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on that. Maybe I'm a bit behind the pack with regards to technology and all of that, but it's just what I think of it basically. So yeah, that's it. That's the review of the Kuhn baler. Please, if you have any questions about it, hit me up in the comments. You can ask me what you like and we'll get back to you. Customers who've opened the bales are very happy with them. They're happy with the plastic setup on it and all the rest of it. So yeah, any questions, please let me know.